Senior archivist, you need to see this. Vrel's voice held an unusual tone, something between horror and disbelief, that immediately captured my attention. It had been 3 standard cycles since our return from Earth, where we had discovered that the humans had domesticated our engineered predators rather than being devoured by them. I had spent most of that time falsifying reports to the Council and ensuring our mission logs were appropriately sanitized. What is it? I asked, joining her at the observation console. We had left several stealth drones in Earth orbit before our departure, programmed to gather additional data on human-canid interactions. I expected they had transmitted new findings. I've been cataloging the different subspecies of canid the humans have created through selective breeding, Vrel said, manipulating the holographic display. Most adaptations make logical sense. Enhanced olfactory capacity for detection work, increased muscle mass for labor assistance, specialized coat density for different climate zones. Yes, surprisingly practical modifications, I agreed, almost as if they understood the genetic engineering principles our ancestors used but applied them through primitive selection instead. But then, Vrel continued, her upper eyelids fluttering in distress, I found this. The hologram changed to show a tiny creature standing on a decorated cushion inside a human dwelling. It had enormous bulging eyes, a disproportionately large head compared to its body, and was shaking visibly. The creature opened its mouth to reveal a pitiful set of teeth and emitted what our audio sensors translated as a high-pitched grating sound that repeated continuously. What in the 7 moons is that? I demanded. Some kind of rodent? A genetic experiment gone wrong? No, archivist. Vrel's voice was solemn. According to the human's taxonomic classification, this is Canis familiaris, a subspecies they call Chihuahua. It is a direct descendant of our enhanced wolves. I stared at the hologram in stunned silence. The creature made the noise again, a sound that our ancestors' perfect predators would never have produced. A sound that held no hint of the dignified howl we had engineered into their genetic makeup. That's impossible, I finally managed. Our wolves were apex predators. Their cranial structure alone weighed more than this entire abomination. I verified the genetic markers, Verlaine insisted. It carries the enhanced intelligence sequences we designed, though now expressed in a highly modified neurological structure. The signature modifications to the sensory cortex remain identifiable. The hologram expanded to show the tiny creature being lifted by human hands and placed inside a carrying container adorned with sparkly materials and artificial flowers. The human spoke to it in a high-pitched voice, not unlike the creature's own vocalizations. They've turned our perfect killing machine into a fashion accessory, I whispered. It gets worse, Vrel said, her bioluminescent patterns shifting to indicate deep discomfort. She changed the display to show multiple versions of these tiny canids, some with artificially colored fur, others wearing miniature fabric coverings that resembled human attire, still others being transported in wheeled devices pushed by humans. This subspecies appears to serve no practical function, Vrel continued. They are too small for protection, too fragile for labor, too neurologically unstable for reliable companionship, yet humans have deliberately cultivated these traits over approximately 2,000 cycles. I watched as the display showed one of the tiny creatures attempting to intimidate a much larger canid, one that more closely resembled our original design. The disparity was absurd. The miniature descendant of our wolves stood trembling on spindly legs, making its irritating noise continuously, while the larger canid simply observed it with what appeared to be patient confusion. Is this humor? I asked tentatively. Have they created these as some form of entertainment? Unclear, Vrel replied, but they've created millions of them. This subspecies is present on all continents in significant numbers. Some humans appear to value them highly, engaging in specialized breeding programs to produce even more extreme variations. I sank into my chair, experiencing an emotion our species rarely encountered. Our ancestors had spent enormous resources engineering the perfect predator to eliminate humanity, and humans had responded by transforming some of them into this. We can never include this in the official record, I decided. The council would interpret this as deliberate mockery. But it's fascinating from an evolutionary perspective, Vrel argued. No other species we've encountered has modified another species purely for aesthetic or emotional purposes on this scale. It suggests a level of environmental control and genetic manipulation that exceeds our estimates of human capabilities. I studied the hologram again. Another human had appeared presenting a tiny article of clothing to outfit the minuscule canid. The creature continued its incessant noise while the human spoke soothingly to it. "Delete all references to this subspecies from our mission logs," I ordered. "If the Council ever discovers humans have survived, they must never learn what became of some of our wolves." "There's more, Archivist," Vrel said hesitantly. "The humans appear to have social gatherings where they bring these creatures together, dress them in decorative coverings, and evaluate which one has been most successfully modified." The hologram shifted to show a lineup of the tiny canids, each trembling on a platform while humans studied them critically. "They're proud of this," I realized with growing horror. "They view this as an achievement." In that moment, I understood something profound about humanity that our ancestors had missed. Their adaptability wasn't just about survival. It was about reshaping their environment to suit whims that extended far beyond practical needs. The predator we had sent to end them had become, in some cases, an object of amusement, affection, and artistic expression. "Perhaps we should consider ourselves fortunate," I said finally. "Fortunate?" Vrel questioned. "Our species' most sophisticated bioweapon was turned into that." "Yes," I replied, shutting down the hologram. "Because any species capable of looking at a perfectly engineered apex predator and deciding to transform it into this," I gestured at where the image had been, "is capable of creativity beyond our comprehension. If they join the galactic community and discover our past actions, I shudder to think what they might decide to do with us." Vrel's luminescence patterns shifted to indicate dawning comprehension. "The Council believed humans would be a destructive force in the galaxy," I continued. "But I now see a different danger. They don't just survive, they remake, and they do it not just for logical reasons, but for reasons we cannot fathom." I made my final decision about our Earth mission in that moment. Classify Earth as extreme environmental hazard uninhabitable in all official records. Recommend a minimum exclusion zone of 5 light-years around their system, and pray to the 7 moons that when they finally develop fold space technology, they bring their practical canid companions with them to meet us. Not these chihuahuas. As I returned to my quarters, I couldn't shake the image of those bulging eyes and trembling limbs from my mind. Our ancestors had sent the most perfectly designed predators in galactic history to Earth, and humanity had responded with the ultimate evolutionary insult, turning some of them cute. The universe suddenly seemed a far more unpredictable place than I had ever imagined. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave it a like and to subscribe if you'd like to see more. Feel free to comment and share it as well. With all that said, go on and check out the video in the top left. I think you might like it.